staff that have been quite wonderful in terms of the efficiency and the coordination of the program's activities. Moreover, task team for the technical support, the implementing agencies partners deserves accolade as well for providing technical assistance to states which resulted in higher performance by the states. And finally, of course, the states themselves for their resilience, their continuous support and participation in this program. In particular, I want to congratulate the states that received awards for outstanding performance in various direct linked indicators. I believe that the award will spur you to further strive towards deepening and mainstreaming the reforms in your respective states.
The SFTAS program was one of a kind in design and reach. It accommodated our heterogeneity as states by integrating scalability in the disbursement-linked results, DLRs, design and availing us technical assistance in building our capacity to implement associated reforms. Together, we have increased citizens' participation in governance, improved fiscal transparency and accountability by publishing our fiscal documents in appropriate standards. Similarly, we have legislated requisite laws to provide an enabling legal framework to reform processes, procedures, and policies. Examples are the debt management laws, public procurement laws, audit laws, and consolidated revenue codes. Other noteworthy reforms include a reduction in our domestic expenditure areas, improved debt sustainability ratios, and the adoption of e-procurement systems to deliver efficiency and value for money in government expenditure. The financing of over 1.2 billion disbursement to states thus far has been timely in ameliorating the fiscal constraint occasioned by increasing expenditure needs, COVID-19 pandemic, and the non-remittances of revenue or shortfall in remittances of
African Independent Television. Thank you all for
revenue by NMPC to the Federation account following the rising subsidy payments and crude oil debt. Understanding the need to also show up our domestic revenues, we have undertaken various reforms that have seen our IGR grow over the years. Even so, we plan to aggressively pursue new inroads, including tax policies, legislation, property tax, technology adoption, strengthening the exchange of information, executing targeted incentive schemes, and tax for service initiatives, among others. Since January 2022, in the absence of performance grant, we continue to implement associated reforms, and within the program's specified timelines. This includes the publication of our quarterly budget implementation reports and the audited financial statements. For example, for the fiscal year 2021 has been done. To express formally our resolve to sustain the ideals of the program, the forum also signed a sustainability charter on 17th August 2022. In furtherance to the commitment in the charter that we will subject ourselves to annual assessments after the program, we will be willing to work with our partners and relevant stakeholders in conducting the very first non-grant backed assessment in 2023. The NGF Secretariat and our state officials will be available to to discuss the modalities and timing that will work best in ensuring the assessment remains credible and performance-driven. Understanding the importance of sustaining capacity, the board established a fund to sustain capacity building support beyond SFTAS technical assistance funding. We hope to solicit contribution from members and partners accordingly in making this a reality. Today, we celebrate everyone, awardis or not.
Bumpy journey to an uncertain destination.
This is Moneyline with me, Nancy Naji. It's so nice to know that you're joining us again at today.
So I know every state made a genuine effort to implement as many reforms as possible. As we celebrate, let us not lose sight of the journey to sustainability, the charter we have signed.
Welcome back to the program. Just like I said earlier, Dr. Matthias Schmale is my guest. He's the United Nations President of Humanitarian
the conviction to continue.
He has a PhD in economics, but he rarely uses the doctor. And anytime I speak with him or interview him on a panel, I always put the doctor because he's a Nigerian now. At least he's a Nigerian. And Nigerians like titles. So welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Now, where should we start from? I know you have visited many states. Your work is a humanitarian work. You get to interact with a lot of people across the country.
Do right by our citizens. At this point, I would like, on behalf of all of us, thank and acknowledge President Muhammadu Buhari, the Vice Chairman the Vice President also and Chairman of NEC for the leadership they provided, where the National Economic Council and in fact the National Economic Management have been more inclusive and more transparent. That over the last several years, budget is presented and passed by the National Assembly is a step that has been complemented by our National Assembly, and they also deserve commendation. Of course, all this wouldn't have been possible by the very, very strong team led by the Honorable Minister of Finance and the Permanent Secretary, and indeed all members of their team. Last but not the least on this, I must not forget to appreciate the former chairman of this forum, Governor John Kayode Fayemi, and the DG of the forum and secretariat, who have very, very commendably led support to states, put a technical assistance program in place where all states are supported. Of course, I couldn't conclude without thanking Shubham Chowdhury and the esteemed at the World Bank, and indeed members of the Open Governance Partnership. This has been a partnership that has been mutually rewarding us.
Former Governor of Ekiti State, Honorable Minister, Permanent Secretary, Finance, DG Okaru, DG DMO, friends. It's a real privilege for me to be here this evening with all of you to celebrate what I can honestly say is the flagship program that we are honored to support here in Nigeria, and SFTAS, the information about SFTAS, the record of SFTAS is spreading all across the World Bank. Let me just say why it is that I see this as a flagship we all see this as a flagship program. First and foremost, I think the degree to which this is truly being government-owned and run. And I'm looking here at Governor Obaseki of Edo State, who became the NGF subcommittee head on SFTAS and drove this program. I think it was, obviously Governor Fayemi and the support and from the Honorable Minister of Finance that this was a grant that would still could keep giving in terms of Christmas gifts, even in its fourth year. But also I think it's because, this program gets at the heart of fundamental aspect of governance in Nigeria as a federation, which is a mutual accountability relationship between the federal and the states, in a way which the terms of which are clear. The name of the program talks about accountability and transparency, but the design of the program also was about accountability and transparency. Let me give you my first encounter with SFTAS when I arrived in Nigeria in September of 2019. My third day here, I was at an Wednesday evening meeting of the NGF, where the first results were shared with all the excellencies about which states had done what was needed to be eligible to participate in 2019, in the 2019 program. And I remember, I think it was 24 states were eligible, 12 were not, had not met the deadlines. And so some of the governors from those 12 states started saying, no, we didn't know about this, we need a bit more time, we have to, and I was getting prepared to make the case for how, we had to stick to, conditions that had been explained, but before I could say anything, the other governors in the room said, no, we all knew the rules, this is what's explained, and we have to live by them. And I think that was a fundamental, to me, that was music. Usually, I'm having to be the one saying, okay, these were the rules. This was completely owned by the governors as a firm, and you saw it the next year. You will see in terms of the performance at the state level, initially it was a bit slow taking up, but then it has really blossomed to where every state has really embraced this program. I happen to think that states are where the action is. That's where the name of our SFTAS successor comes from, State Action on Business Enabling Reforms. But it's truly because in terms of most of what Nigeria's people depend on and look to from government is delivered by the states. And the governors are the ones who are closest to the people. So a program where the federal and the states can hold each other accountable and in turn be accountable to citizens, I think that's the heart of SFTAS, and we've started emulating that design through all the other areas. Fiscal management is the starting point, but then it's business enabling reforms, it's basic service delivery. I hope that this can become a model for lots of other programs. So it truly is a privilege that we've been able to be part of it, and I still marvel at the fact that I think Nigeria is the only country where the political principals, the elected leaders, all the governors know what a DLI is. Thank you.
Accepted and known tool to do a broad assessment of the actual damage, and they...
Hello, and welcome to the program. This is Moneyline with me, Nancy.
So we really have to keep thinking out of the box about how to get money to the least accessible in our society.
Everything has to be re-examined in our economy, in our health system.
We are also ensuring that government does not continue to manage this refinery, because government is not really equipped to manage refinery. We need to put work and do something different, so that we move from a situation of looking at things it's purely a consumptive approach to a productive environment.
The government and the people need to really agree on the need for a departure from business as usual.
We are now on the process of recovery. It is what I call a bumpy journey to an uncertain destination.
This is Moneyline with me, Nancy Naji. It's so nice to know that you're joining us again today.
Member states have offered support, like the United States immediately put $1 million on the table. But you can hear from these numbers, there's 20.
Kind of destroy. So huge at this point. So what kind of assistance?
So I think it needs to be a combination of assistance. So there is some at state level. I saw in all 3 states I visited, but I know this happens in other states too. So I'm just using that as an illustration. Governor is really mobilizing.
So we're having at least the next 20 to 25 minutes. But just like the Honorable Minister of Finance did state earlier, and from what the World Bank Director has stated, and also what the National Program Director just stated a few seconds ago, we've seen that from 2018 to 2021, that states have been assessed against the benchmark that was shown to us earlier. Benchmark of fiscal transparency, the benchmark of increased revenue mobilization, the benchmark of efficiency in public expenditure and strengthened debt management. This panel will further espouse on that, and let's see how most of the states achieved that. So I'll be starting this panel with my first question. Of course, the SFTAS chair, NGF. So Governor, this question is for you. As the chairman of the NGF SFTAS committee, I know you played a very vital role. Could you provide for me your feedback on the impact of SFTAS in your states? What has also been the program positive outcomes? Apart from what Mr. Ali said earlier, I really want you to crunch out the details because we saw that on the slide. And what have really been the toughest challenges? Because we are here tonight celebrating, but I guess that the governors also would tell us what the challenges are and how can these results be sustained in the absence of a monetary incentive for the program. Without a Christmas hamper, can this program be sustained, particularly with the upcoming election in the next few months? So, Governor, shoot.
Thank you very much. First, let me